I'm not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in UK test part 442 by doing morning stretching. And if you participate in the morning stretching, register your own risk. And I have the idea that we're going to do something about the Anglo-Saxons, and I'll try to learn what is written here in a way that I'm, in around 3 minutes, able to save it all in one through in a little short presentation. After the Romans had left in 410, the Jutes, Angles and Saxons invaded Britain, and they then also stayed. And the language we spoke is the language on which modern day English is based. There happened battles, but by around 600 were the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms established in Britain. In Britain, mainly in the part of England. And in Sutton Hoo, which is in Suffolk, there's the burial place of one of the kings of the Anglo-Saxons, one of the Anglo-Saxon kings. And he was buried with treasure and armor in a ship, and the ship was then covered by a mound. Did I say it covered the times mound? By a mound. And I was saying mountain. Mound. I don't really know the word. It must mean that. And based mainly in Britain, much of Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, much of Wales, Scotland, just Wales and Scotland, India, much of Wales and Scotland remained unconquered or free of Anglo-Saxon rule. That is not really part of the Anglo-Saxon, it's part of the Anglo-Saxon time, but not part of the Anglo-Saxons. Let's include it. The Anglo-Saxons were not Christians, but it was at the time when missionaries came to preach Christianity. For example, from Northern Ireland, it came St. Patrick, who became the patron saint of Ireland, and St. Columba, who founded a monastery on Iona off the coast of Scotland. And someone else, for example, St. Augustine, he led missionaries from Rome, and they were spreading Christianity more north of England. So north of England, it must be that. I mean, because we're wondering about that. It's 450 miles. And this St. Augustine became the first Archbishop of Canterbury. According to the... So I think, if I'm going to save it, it sounds nice. I'm not going to save it here in the video. And not some time later maybe. I'm going to shoot it now in another video, which has been basically just for people looking for a short overview of the Anglo-Saxon time. I think it's a nice video, perfectly for us to learn, to really see how someone publicly learns, and then tries to present it in one take after another. So I'm now starting the second camera, and I'm going to try to shoot that now to the second camera. How did it start after the Romans left? After the Romans had left Britain in 410, other people invaded, the Jutes, the Angles and the Saxons. And there were battles fought, but around the year 600, many Anglo-Saxon kingdoms were established in England, not so in Wales and Scotland. And the language which these Anglo-Saxons spoke is the language on which the modern day English is based. One of these Anglo-Saxon kings is buried in Sutton Hoo, which is in Suffolk, and he was buried with armor and treasure in a wooden ship with then a mold of earth over it. And these Anglo-Saxons were not Christians, but it is also the time when missionaries came from Ireland and preached Christianity. For example, St. Patrick, and he would become the patron saint of Ireland, or St. Columba, and he founded a monastery on the island Iona off the coast of Scotland. And someone else, St. Augustine, he led missionaries from Rome and also to preach Christianity. And St. Augustine was then the first Archbishop of Canterbury, according to the Life in UK Test Handbook, page 14 and 15. I think it's a beautiful video. Okay, I'm gonna set the camera. And we're gonna do a morning stretching. So if you were just here to learn from live and UK test, you can go directly to the next part. Otherwise, at your own risk, the morning stretching. Yeah. Okay. We're having a good stand, a bit more shoulder before and apart with the feet, and we're doing forward shoulder circles. We're going back, up, in front, and down. Back, up, in front, and down. And another turn. Back, up, in front, and down. No backwards. Front, up, back, and down. Last round. And I think the camera is standing in the sun. No? Yes, it is. No, it isn't anymore. And now we're going to do the next exercise. So we are breathing in and lifting the shoulders up. And out. Letting the fall down. And again in. And out. And again in. And out. One more time. Breathe in. And out. Yeah, we're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And now we're reaching high. We are pretending to take an apple which hangs high on an apple branch, to turn it a bit around, and that way to pluck the apple fruits. And let's do it a couple more times. Last two. And now to the shifter. Legs are standing wide apart. We are lifting the arms up to a T. We're breathing in and out. We're shifting just at the upper part of the body over to one side. Again, in into the middle. And out over to the other side. Breathing in into the middle. And out over to the other side. Again, in into the middle. Out over to the other side. In into the middle. Let's do it for one more round. And out over to the side. In into the middle. Out over to one side. And again in. And we're leaning down onto our knees. We're doing the buffalo fighting its hang on exercise. Breathe again. And out and shoulder front. Breathing the shoulder back. And out the other in front. Breathing in the shoulder back. And out the other shoulder in front. Again in the shoulder back. And out. And again in. And out the shoulder in front. Breathing in. And out. And now we're breathing in. And out, and we're hanging just down. And we're only helping to come deeper down by breathing in through the nose into the chest. And by breathing out through the mouth. This is basically a leg stretch. And breathing in. And out. And again in. And out. And last time in. And out before we go over to one leg. And again in. And again in. and out over the middle leg. And again. And out. And again. And into the middle. And again. And we're breathing in. And out. Still hanging down. Again in. And out. Again in. And out. And the last time in. And out and coming slowly up. Round back, top, backwards shoulder. Now the garden pose, the toes are pointing to the outside. We're having an ulnar space between our heels. We're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And out we're sinking down, we're placing the elbows against the insides of the knees. And we're breathing in and we're pretending to come back against a wall. And out with the back up. Breathing in. And out and again down. Breathe in and straighten up the back. And out again up to the back. Breathing in. And out the last time down. Now we're breathing in. And out we're coming slowly in one straight line up. And now the seahorse pose. We're having a good standing leg, the other leg with the heel on top of the knee. We're breathing in. Do this only if you can do it without injuring yourself. And out and we go down. I said again mold instead of mount, and I think mold is that what food does. And if I had thought of it, I wouldn't have used it, but it wouldn't have happened, because I thought mold is just another word for it. But I'm not even sure if that is the correct name. And we are doing the same with the other leg. Knee on top, heel on top of knee of a standing leg, and we're going down. Now it's the thing which food does. If it rests for a few days or weeks, that is a little problem. And a little longer, and we're coming up again. And the closing exercise. Legs are standing wide apart, we're breathing in and coming down. And out. Again in. Out. Again in. And out. Again in. And out. Again in. One last long breath in. Out. Again in. And out. That we're doing cross legs. And out. So this was the morning stretching. I thank you very much, and until the next time.